Hello, everyone. Welcome to Drive Facebook Live. And I'm Carla, and I will be hosting today. I'm here today with our only one and only Tony Whistler.
Hey guys.
A- And we are spotlighting Christoph from Auburn Euro Motors. Hi, Christoph.
Hey Carla. Hey Tony.
Hey, good to see you.
Yeah, you too.
Awesome. So we're gonna just jump into it. So Christoph, tell us about your shop and a little bit about yourself.
So I am Christoph and I run Auburn Euro Motors in Auburn, California, which is in Northern California in the foothills. My dad started this business in 1997, and joined Drive in 2002 or 2003, I want to say. He was a one-man band shop. And in 2000, and I was a technician here in high school. And then I didn't really want to work on cars. I was good at it, but that's not what I wanted to do. So I did a bunch of other stuff, but ultimately I put myself through college. Went to Sonoma State, got a geography degree because that interested me. Worked in that field. Didn't really like it. I also studied business as well while I was in college. Um, and in the end of 2011, my dad had built this shop up to the point where he had two technicians, a service advisor, and then he was the owner. But he was looking for a manager. And I said, I would love to do that. I want to try it out. And I kind of had to convince him. And I came in. I never wrote service before. All I knew was when I was in high school working on cars. So early 2012, our service advisor didn't like me having like a manager above her because she worked for my dad for about 6 years. So she quit probably 3 weeks after I started working, came back to work for my dad. And so I had to basically learn how to write service. And I did all the drive classes. I think in 2012, I flew down to Glendale or Burbank probably like 4 times. The next year, probably 4 times. I was going down there a lot. I think at one point, I ended up like landing at Burbank Airport like 24 times total. So a lot of
Wow.
training. And then we've kind of grown it. We've expanded. 2015, I really started managing and doing the hiring and by 2018, 2019 is when I joined Top 20. My dad was still very involved, but I was running the show. I was fully removed from the front. I wasn't writing service, it was a wrenching. And then just this, I've been trying to purchase the business from my dad for half a decade. We finally got something in the books, or out worked out last year. So last May, I became 20% owner. This year, I'm up to 60% owner. Next year, it'll be 80%. And then the end of 2027 is when my dad will be fully removed. Right now, he's mainly financial, uh, is his involvement in the business, meaning, I'm basically paying him, but he doesn't have to come in. I think they were just in Japan for a month. Then they were in Costa Rica a
Nice.
couple months ago. So they're traveling. My mom and my dad are traveling. My mom retired last year. Um, Part of the succession plan was making sure my parents would be set up well into retirement because my dad started this business. So um, part of that, I got a lot of help from my top 20 group. Travis in my group kind of went through that a while ago, and he kind of helped me, and some of the other guys in my group helped me with that. But basically, where we're at right now is, I have my dad for advice if I need it. But he is not. He doesn't come into the shop. He doesn't. he's pretty much not involved at all. So
Yeah, it would be kind of hard to come into the shop all the way from Japan, huh?
yeah.
That's
So,
So
that's a real incentive to not be there.
yeah, really. So, question. So you never worked in the shop before 2011. You went to do your own thing, or did you ever?
I worked on I worked on cars probably from I started coming in here when I was 15. My dad would bring me in. I couldn't drive yet, or I think I was 14. I was in like eighth grade. I would sweep the floors, help clean out cars. And then I was a technician for about 3 years in, senior year of high school. I worked at another shop. I did the local high school program, RLP is what they called it, junior year. Worked at another local shop. I wasn't allowed to work here and I didn't want to. And then I graduated. I worked for about a year on cars in the back and I didn't like it. So I got a job at Auburn Honda selling parts.
Okay.
Didn't like the politics there, so I moved over to Auburn Nissan selling parts. I kind of made a name for myself because I knew the mechanical side of things and I was good at talking to customers. Um, and then just realized the dealer is full of politics. Did not like it. And then about that time, my wife was getting ready to she's a couple years younger than me, and she got into college, and um, that's when I decided to go back to college, and we ended up going to the same college together. I basically followed her. So
And what school was that?
we both went to Sonoma State, which is also in Northern California. It's north of San Francisco, about an hour. So
Mm,
You were
cool.
close by.
that's my extent of wrenching. Um, but I am very mechanical, so I get the concepts immensely. So that's kind of an advantage, kind of a disadvantage, depending on how you look at it. So
Mm. Hey, Dave Jennerjohn's watching. Mark Granham's watching.
Hi, hi,
Say
Dave
hi,
and
everybody.
Mark. Hi, Mark.
Yeah.
So, what made you decide to own the business versus just being the manager and just hang out?
um, I always knew I was gonna own my own business.
Mhm.
I was very entrepreneur mindset in high school. I'm sure we all read Rich Dad Poor Dad. That kind of turned me around.
Yep.
I ended up getting my real estate license actually near the end of before I started selling pot. I got my real estate license just before I went to college, I got it at the end of 2008. And we all know what happened to the market.
Yeah, bad timing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, and then in college, I actually started a detail business in college. I started a business where I was selling like refurbished printers and stuff on eBay. Something was always going on. I was always trying to, what's the next thing? And, I came back to work for my dad, not thinking I was gonna buy the business, necessarily, um, but I really enjoy it. I really enjoy, doing what I do now and helping people, and my customers are just amazing. I love all my customers, and um,
That's awesome.
That's
I
great.
might sound crazy, but managing people, I couldn't imagine myself not owning a business. So if I wasn't doing this, I'd be running another business, something else. But I've just gotten so good at this over the past decade and a half that, I'm gonna stick
Yeah,
with
that's awesome.
it.
You had a lot of training. You did 24 times in Burbank. You must have known all the guards and all the everybody in there. But of all the training, what was the most significant training, or what is the thing that
Communications
resonated the
class.
most? Okay.
Yeah, hands down. I did that one twice.
And what was about that communication class? What made the difference?
It wasn't just that helps you in everything in life, being able to effectively communicate. You don't realize how many people go through life without being an effective communicator, you know. Really, it's a benefit to be able to connect with people and listen and get your needs through, get other people's needs taken care of. I'd say that hands down is the best class that I ever took there.
Very cool.
Awesome.
Very cool. So I had a question for you. Um, Talk a little bit about your team and how the processes you use to build the team, and how do
Yeah.
you feel about the condition of the team right now?
My team right now is awesome. I've had ebbs and flows. I've learned over the years, good hires, bad hires, what to avoid, what to lean into. Um, I'm very slow to fire and sometimes fast to hire, so that can affect team morale. And I've made mistakes in the past that have affected that. I've had amazing teams in the past, not the people that I have now. I've had amazing teams without them. I've had teams where I was in a position of necessity and hiring the wrong people. But the team I have right now is just amazing. They all get along really well. One of my guys, I only have two technicians right now because one of them's out because he got hurt. So I am looking to get to fill that position. I would like four technicians by summer when he comes back. But between my two guys, like we just finished out the week. We close at 12:30 on Fridays. That's also a reason why I have such a good team is, you attract people who um, they have 2.5 day weekend every weekend. So um, I'm actually taking one of my guys flying after this. So
Oh, nice.
yeah, I just bought him a barbecue last week. My wife redid our break room over the summer. I try to make a work environment that's really conducive to them wanting to work. And they were fighting for hours to try to beat each other. And we ended this week. One of them did 52.8 hours, and the other one did 52.9. So
You
they
want to
were
talk about
rousing
by a
each other
nose?
out there just now, which was fun to see. They're very, when you don't have a good team, you don't have that. You have people bickering over hours. My guys they're there's a very good sense of camaraderie and competition. Um,
Awesome. I've one more question, Carl, if you don't mind.
No, no.
So you said you're a pilot,
yeah,
or a pilot, I assume, because you said you were going to take somebody flying.
yeah.
So do you own your own plane, or do you just lease
No,
when you fly?
no. I That's one of my goals, and it's in my business plan. So
To own
not
your own
yet.
plane.
Yeah.
Okay. Very nice. Okay, that's all I had for now. Carla, over to you.
All right. Okay, and I was going to ask, something about the pilot stuff because I think it's interesting. How much do you get to do that?
I try to go a couple times a month.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. Um, so how is your life different from the time you started to the time from now at this time?
Well, I have more gray hairs.
That's true.
Freedom, the freedom. Um, I come into the shop. I like coming into the shop, but I'm very involved in my community. And with my kids, I have a 7-year-old and an 11-year-old, both boys, and I get to drop them off at school, both of them at different times, every single morning. I get to hang out with them in the morning. Thursdays and Fridays, I pick both of them up from school. I'm able to coach their soccer teams, leave early to coach. I'm in my local lion. I'm the president of my local Lions Club. So we do a lot of events. I'm just very involved in my community. I'm in BNI as well. That takes some time to be a member of BNI. I'm sure there's a lot of people listening that are BNI members, and it's a task to be a BNI member. It takes a lot of time. It benefits our business, but those are, I'd probably say that the main things is the freedom and um, the way I look at individuals inside the business as well.
Yeah, that's great. So I've heard that there's a rumor that you like to cook hot dogs for the whole town or something like
Oh,
that. What's
Oh,
that
town.
story?
yeah. I like cooking. I'm the cook in my household, and uh, our Lions Club cooks for both of my kids' schools. And the guys like to make fun of me because I missed a meeting. The guys in my top 20, because I was cooking hot dogs, and it was like 1,300 hot dogs or so. But that's coming up here in a couple months, so I do that every year.
Is
Now,
it
are
like
those
a summer
boiled hot
thing?
dogs or or are they grilled?
So, this is an event the Lions Club has done. It predates me becoming a Lions member. They used to boil them, but um, my license, I'll fill you in on my license plate on my truck. It's X mediocre. So my wife and I saying is don't be mediocre. And so I'm dragging the hot dog story on a little too long, but we grill them. So it takes longer, but it's a better product.
Mhm.
It's
That's
kind of
right.
like
Yeah.
how we run our shop. I fix the car the right way with top quality parts. When I go to cook, I'm not doing the minimum. I'm gonna step it up a little bit.
Right. Sounds like you have standards and you want to make sure the car is fixed right and that the hot dog is cooked right.
Yes.
So it's consistent. Hector is watching too. And also,
Okay.
hey, do you think now might be a good time for a commercial break, Carla? What do you
I
think?
think so. Go for it.
Okay, so we have a guest on the show to talk a little bit about a workshop that he's going to be doing. We have Jesus Vargas with us. Hey, you with us, Jesus?
Yep, right here. How you guys doing?
Good to see you, my
Hey,
friend.
hey, Jesus.
Hey, Carla, how are you?
So
Good.
tell us about your workshop.
Yep. As they said, my name is Jesus, and I'd like to invite you guys to our professional service advisor class. In this class, you'll learn how to handle any type of customer, communicate the value of your service, and close more sales with confidence. And we hope to see you there. Hola, mi nombre es Jesús. Me encantaría invitarlos a mi clase de ventas para el asesor de servicio. Vamos a aprender cómo manejar cualquier tipo de cliente, comunicar bien el valor de servicio y cerrar más ventas con seguridad. Espero verlos ahí.
And is this in Spanish?
This
This
is the
workshop?
Spanish.
This is the
Yep,
Spanish version. Okay.
Yep.
yep.
So
Very
if
Drive
you
is
nice.
great.
so if you don't
Drive is great
speak
and offers it in both.
Spanish, yeah.
Go ahead, Carla.
No, if you don't speak Spanish, you need to bring your translator.
That's it. That's it.
That's right. Whether it's a device or your
Or
life
if you're,
partner or somebody.
yeah, exactly.
Yes.
So, yeah, thank you, man. I really appreciate that. And when does that workshop start?
That workshop starts in 2 weeks.
Very nice.
If
On a Tuesday.
On a Tuesday, yes, sir.
Christoph, you've done the service writer school, right?
Yeah, I'd probably say that's my second favorite class over the communications class. I did the service advisor and the advanced. I think they're a little different now, and I've sent all my people to that I've hired as service advisors.
Very
What
nice.
did you like about it?
Me, how to deal with every type of customer, how to deal with price shoppers is probably the number one.
Mhm.
Number two, like Jesus was saying, how to deal with upset customers. That's very important. Um, and price shoppers and just every realm of call. I think the main benefit from it is not actually writing service, but getting a new customer in the door when they call.
Right.
Cool. And I want to also just let everyone know that next week on the show we will have Dustin Heiselman of ACR Diesel and Auto Repair, and we'll discuss the best practices he uses to drive lasting success. Tune in Friday, March 20th at 12:30 Pacific, through 3:30 Eastern. And of course, we cannot forget it is fast becoming Drive Expo 2026 season. We will have our Drive Expo 2026 in Las Vegas at the Westgate, September 24th, 25th, and 26th. And we should have some links for you to register and also some links for you to book your hotel room in the chat. And we would love to see you at the expo in Las Vegas. Back to you, Carla.
All right. Thank you. So I wanted to
Yeah, Jesus,
thanks,
sorry.
Jesus. I wanted to also ask a little bit about the transition from your dad to you, and how was that? And maybe like the positives and the challenges on that.
The main challenge is my dad didn't, the way I see it, he didn't want to relinquish the business. He's still pretty young. He's only, I think he's turning 66 this year. So I was running the business and making all the money, and I saw a benefit from that as well. But my dad was completely removed from the business, so he wasn't doing anything. And so for him, having him being able to give that up, I could imagine was tough. You have this golden goose, and you don't have to do anything. He was still doing some stuff, but you know, uh, and you just have an income stream, passive income, basically. And so the main challenge was having him give that up and seeing that I was actually at a point where I was extremely frustrated, because I wanted ownership in the business and I was doing all the owner things. I just wasn't seeing the benefit from that. And I basically had to write up the plan. He wasn't going to do it. Um, and I had to get him to agree on that. And one thing that, and Travis from my group brought this up to me, is his needs and my needs could be completely different. Meaning what I think he needs in retirement might not be what he needs. He might need something else. Um, for example, one of my dad's biggest concerns was auto repair once he doesn't own the business. What does that look like? And how much is he gonna have to pay for auto repair? Me, I'm
Yeah,
like,
true.
well,
Yeah.
I'm gonna fix your cars for you like forever. So I don't know why you're worried about that. But that was a concern for him, a
Mhm.
small concern. And talking about finances, I had to, do you guys own your house? Were you along with that? All these things matter. Um, so the way I have it set up, even when he's financially out of the business, not involved whatsoever, there's still going to be some revenue coming from it. He owns one of the units we're in outright. He's still going to get rent from that. Fuel expense, I'm still going to, cover them for fuel expenses, car repairs, that kind of stuff. So I think if you're in a succession, especially with family, you need to have those hard conversations on what you need, both parties, and what's important.
Yeah, and the thing also is have you set up your personal plan for retirement? Like, do you know where your income streams are going to be after you're not working anymore?
Yeah.
Um, like you were talking about, rich dad, poor dad. You got to have passive income once you're retired. So how is that? Were you guys able to sort out
hmm
like where like his retirement, how he was gonna make his money up once he wasn't working?
Yes, yeah. So a lot of the things I don't know about still with some of his income, but as far as the business is concerned, yes, we have that all figured out, what he would be getting from the business.
Very nice.
Yeah.
And
And
that'll be forever, right? That'll
yeah.
he'll
Yep.
just get that income from the shop until he literally doesn't
Yeah.
need it anymore.
Yeah.
I
Mhm.
really like that you took into consideration and took the time to find out what is it really that he was concerned about and what were his needs versus you thinking what were his needs.
Yeah.
That's huge. Yeah. So you were gonna ask Christoph about the expo.
I was. You have been there a few times. You've been there a
More
few
than a
times.
few times, yes.
So it's coming up again. And I always like to ask clients what they thought the most impactful thing at the expo was, or what it did to help with the progress of the shop. So and you've been to a few, so you can give us a few stories or let us know, what do you think it is that
So
happens at an expo that's great? I'll put it that way.
I'd say networking. It's not just about being in a class or listening to, Jim talk or someone else give a speech. I think having dinner, meeting different people from all over the country, um, is a huge benefit. Uh, this last one, I actually got a lot out of it. Um, and I can't pinpoint one thing, but uh, this one was I really enjoyed this one. I came back invigorated for my shop, um, and it gives you a nice little boost, gets you excited about things that you can be doing differently in your shop, things you shouldn't be doing. Uh, I know you guys didn't do it last time, but I really like having some of the other vendors there, like from the software companies.
Mm,
That's
yeah.
really it's cool to talk to them. Sometimes you learn about new softwares. Sometimes you learn about software that you already have features you didn't know it did. Um, I thought that was really, really helpful.
Oh, cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
What's one of your most memorable expos?
Um, I can't remember where it was. Uh, well, I could talk about back in 2005 if you want to talk about that expo.
I'd love to hear about 2005.
That had nothing to do with automotive, but Carl asked what my most memorable one was. That was Hurricane Wilma.
Oh, you were in that one, huh? I
Uh,
didn't know you were on that one.
yeah, I think it was 2006, actually. I should remember. We had to sleep in the
2000
shelter for
and
a week and not eat food. Uh, had
yeah.
nothing to do with drive it, just a freak thing. But
So
that's
where
the
was
most
that
memorable.
expo?
It
I
Where?
was
was in
Cancun.
Cancun.
Cancun, and you got hit by a hurricane on an island. That's fabulous. Oh no, you were
Yeah,
in Mexico. That's right.
yeah.
Well, it's Mexico in Cancun.
Yeah.
Yes, we went for yeah, it was like a
Mm,
expo and
It was a nightmare, but it was a trip. Looking back on it now, it was kind of cool. One of the coolest experiences I've ever been through.
very cool. Very cool. All right. Now, do you have any other training for your employees coming up with Drive at all?
No, that's an area that I lack. I need to set up a solid training. I've sent my service advisor to some trainings. She enjoys them. Uh, I've signed her up for ones, and then we just get busy, and I need her up front. This is why I need another person up front so I can have her do more trainings. But I do not know.
Okay. Well, they're there for you. So,
Yes,
yeah, cool.
but you have somebody coming, right, for the front?
yes, yeah.
Okay,
I
good.
did hire somebody, so.
So what would you say to what would you say to somebody that was in the same situation of transitioning from, you know,
Um,
the not necessarily from their father, but it could be a manager from an owner, or just what would be some things important to keep in mind?
Find out what the owner needs, find out what you need, come up with a plan. Whether that's a lump sum from the bank or a buyout plan. I personally think a buyout plan is far superior to a lump sum from a bank because then the owner's getting that money instead of it going to a bank for interest.
Hmm. Cool.
Good,
But
good.
have something in writing and signed and
Nice.
something you both agree to.
Cool. It looks
Good.
like we're near the end. We're near the end of the show, Carla.
It looks like we are. So, any other questions, Tony?
No, any last thoughts, Christoph?
I do not. Yeah, this was fun.
I'm glad you made it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was great having you here, and we'll be back next week.
Awesome. See you guys.
Bye-bye.